This is episode 21, so if that's wrong, you can certainly blame the guy with the moped.
Oh, what a start.
He hasn't had a haircut. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing at incognito muggings.
No.
Because they're not funny, but I do find it very amusing that they've decided to leave your clothes. You've got a good-looking team, Dolan. I'd describe them all as housewives' favourites. Chester's got the body of an Adonis.
Can I believe it, man?
Good impression.
Yeah, not
well
bad. It got better as the impression
Yeah,
went
good
on.
that was.
Oh, hello, Marlon.
I said to Anne, should we leave this up on the fridge permanently? And she was like, no. But it's still there. Big Marlon's still on the fridge. Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast with myself, Dan Bardell, in proper podcast uniform, and Chris Dolan next to me, not Tom Julian.
See, I didn't get
not
the memo.
wearing. You did get the memo. Do not lie.
Nobody told me a thing about it.
And I can have other members of the Villa View back me up that he knew about the retro shirt. He's got the most retro haircut I've
I just
ever
want to know
seen.
where this came from.
But
This
it just
is just to
died.
feed. This is just to feed your shirt ego.
It just happened.
This is to feed your
This is
ego.
what the people want, mate.
No, this is to feed your classic shirt thing.
There's nothing
you
wrong.
got going on.
There's nothing wrong with
So
having
we all
an,
have to follow suit.
There's nothing wrong with having an addiction to buying Aston Villa shirts.
Or nice jackets.
Yeah, but no one wants that. Everyone wants to see an old Villa shirt. For those of you that are listening via audio, I'm in the 2007, 2008.
Which I have.
You've got it. Oh,
Signed by Martin O'Neill.
oh, great stuff, but don't bring it with you, mate. I
didn't.
suppose you wouldn't wear it, would you, because it's signed?
It's all written in the front.
This is an actual genuine Melberg one as well, the
get that,
Melberg
mate,
one
yeah.
that he left
Let's get that.
at Upton Park for his final game, but let's not dwell on it too long because there's a lot going on in B6 at the moment. We haven't seen you for a while. I can't remember the last time you were on a podcast, but it was a while ago, wasn't it?
It was the Forest game when we won 3-1,
No, really, that was a long time ago.
which is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because we sat here and said, you said if we beat Forest, then I'll start to believe.
And I did start to believe,
And we all started to believe.
didn't we just?
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and here we
But
are.
good to be back, man. Good to be back.
Yeah.
It's been an eventful 6 weeks.
Yeah, not very eventful on Sunday though, because a bit of a nothing game in the end, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, by all accounts, I thought we played really well. When you sort of, I mean, they were going for it. They were going for the league title, so they
Yeah.
had something to play for. We didn't. I was really happy to see people like Lansbury get a game.
Had a good game.
I thought he had a good game. Hutton, I mean, I think Hutton did a bit of a Hutton for the first goal. He was nowhere to be found, but. Listen, as Dean Smith alluded to in the post-match interview, it was about getting players like Lansbury and Codgy, getting them minutes, getting Courtney Hawes minutes as well. And I thought overall it was a really good performance. I thought Connor ran the game.
Yeah, him and Lansbury were definitely the standout performers.
And I thought Whelan, as always, didn't put a foot wrong.
He's tired, I thought.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's played a lot of football in the last few weeks, but he never seems to make a mistake.
No, and the fans are
fans
absolutely
love him,
adoring him. This is like the turnaround when Hutton,
Brilliant, yeah.
in the first season in the Championship, suddenly just became a cult hero when he'd had a lot of stick. Whelan's done exactly the same thing, hasn't he? He's a good player. I don't think he's ever doing anything different to what he's ever done, to be honest. I just think he's been noticed.
He's getting a bit more forward. He's passed the ball. He's a bit more direct.
Do you think that just doesn't stem from us being a better team? So
There is
obviously
that.
he's going to
There
look
is
better.
that.
I genuinely don't think he's doing anything different. I think there's just more going on in front of him, so he can
what
showcase
changed-
himself.
I think it was when he came on against Sheffield United when we were 3-0 down.
Yeah, he had a good game.
I think he came on and changed that game.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
everyone was like, "Wait a minute, he's actually a quality footballer in there." You know?
Have you always liked him? I can't recall.
I mean, there's obviously that Irish contingent. There's that Irish connection. I mean, he's not a glamorous footballer. He's not someone that you'd look back on and go, he was a special player. But everyone needs a Glenn Whelan, and that's not like putting him down. But the job he does, the job he does is a job that a lot of those players don't want to do.
It's a difficult job as
it's
well,
a
being
hard
that sitting
job.
midfielder.
And it's having that discipline.
Yeah, he's very
And I
disciplined.
think he's been outstanding, and he'll play a massive part for us in the next 2 games.
Yeah, I think
Massive part.
I agree with you. Let's go into the game because you've already alluded to Hutton's difficult start. Within the first 5 minutes, Hernandez on the left wing was
Absolute
causing him
terror, isn't
all
he?
kinds of problems.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I've seen him a few times on TV in the flesh. He was a cracking little
Yeah,
player, Hernandez.
yeah. Where'd
He
the
was
bound
so
from?
dangerous. Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you at all.
Was he one of Farke's kind of?
But they just picked up a load of obscure players, and that seems to have worked for them. A bit in the Huddersfield mould, to be fair, when they went up. That's what's got them up, because you'd have never said they'd have been up there, but I've got to say they were easily the best team I've seen. Well, no, were they actually? I've got to say Leeds were good. Leeds were good at Villa Park when we played, but they just looked good. First 10-15 minutes, they were all over us, mate.
Yeah, and then we came back into it, and I thought,
Yeah,
I thought we played really well. But I mean, when the first goal went in, I thought this is going to be a long afternoon.
Yeah, well, you texted him,
I did WhatsApp it. Didn't like the look of that starting 11. For me, it was slow and it was a bit lethargic looking, and then you start off, you have a shocking first 5-10 minutes, and you're like, oh, here we go, Pookie goal after 7 minutes, mistake coming from us, really a mistake from us.
Yeah, it was slow. A laboured start.
Kodja was a stud away from intercepting that through ball.
See, I think, and people are going to think I've got it in for Kodja a little bit, which might be a little bit true. If he'd have been on his toes, I think he might have got that.
He went the grounds.
He reacted to it later than he should have done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It reminded me a bit of I don't want to dwell on this too much, but it reminded me a little bit of the playoff goal in the playoff final
Somebody
last year.
mentioned that on Twitter. We were all just out of position. Everyone was, and then
there's like a big gap between the centre backs and Hudson.
It was Hutton.
It was Kodja that missed the ball and went around. I couldn't tell you what, because it came from a free kick and then we cleared it and then they went again and they cut us open and scored. Just too easy. It was too easy, that goal.
Yeah, it was reminiscent of last season. But that starting 11 was kind of pretty much reminiscent of last season, I felt.
A little bit.
You see the improvement even in the players that played. I mean, how many of those players really have played a lot in those last sort of 10 or 12 games? Not many.
No.
And the ones that came in, clearly what's being said and what's being done on the training pitch is filtering through the entire squad. And for those players to come in and kind of pick up where we'd left off, we'll pick up in spells where we'd left off. You look at some of the chances. I mean, Green should have put that away. That volley he had.
The one that got blocked.
Yeah. At 1-1. Kodja had a couple of chances.
He really did.
I mean, a couple of chances. Connor had a cracking effort that just whistled over the bar.
Killing my notes here, mate.
Whelan had a great chance as well with the outside of his boot that could have on another day could have gone in.
I might as well throw these notes away. You literally just took every bullet point that I put down on it.
I actually wasn't reading them.
I didn't think you were.
Knowledge is power, but listen, I was a little bit peeved off, but just because of the winning run, and I kind of wanted to kind of go into these last sort of 4 games, including Norwich, and win them all.
Well, hopefully 4 games, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully 4 games. But overall, like as we've touched on before, after the West Brom game when we got beat 2-0, I tweeted that I was kind of done for the season.
You've had a lot of stick for that.
I have. Well, off one particular bloke, who I'll not mention, but yeah, I mean, I was finished. And when I say I'm done for, I mean I wasn't going to get too emotionally involved, because we all get very highly emotional on Saturdays and Sundays,
especially you, though.
Especially me, and I was like, I'm not going to. I can't do it anymore, And then boom. Out of the blue.
It was the most unexpected of runs. A lot of people would have said, "Oh, it just takes us going on this amazing winning run, and we'll be right back in it." But we were thinking, like, no way.
It's all right. We'll win the next 10 games in a row.
Yeah, someone did tweet that. I feel like that must have been tongue in cheek, because even the most positive of Villa fans could not have envisaged what was going to happen.
No.
We talked about this a little bit in fan cams. For those of you that haven't watched fan cams, you can go and check that out. That's on our YouTube channel. But we spoke a little bit about the fact that in some ways we were quite glad that the defeat had come then as kind of a reality check and start again and go again for the playoffs, fully focused.
I get that.
I know in some ways that doesn't make sense, but you get what I mean.
I get that, but then on the flip side, you just want to carry on winning.
Yeah.
Winning breeds confidence, and it would have installed a lot of confidence in the fringe players that would have who would have kind of thought, well, I can do a job here as well. I get what you mean, but
do you really think any of those fringe players would be involved? Sam Young's asked this: did anyone play themselves into contention? And we've already touched on the fact that Lansbury had a good game.
It's funny that
he isn't going to play.
It's funny that he came off and Bjornsson came on, and then in the last 6-7 minutes we conceded. Again,
on the notes, mate, you're absolutely killing me.
This could be a short podcast.
Yeah, really good for.
I don't know. I mean, I think those players. I mean, people have again been talking about who you play home and away, Hurham at home, Whelan away. But for me, we just got to play our own game, and we just got to do what we do best. And on our day, we'll rip anyone to shreds, and it's showed that over the last 10 games. We will tear anyone to shreds. And looking at West Brom, we're pretty dreadful by all accounts on Sunday. There's something not right. There's something not right in that camp,
Well, we're going to come on to Baggies obviously later, but actually their form's not as bad as I thought it was. I've had a look. It isn't as bad as I thought it was, because they are. If I can find their recent form, according to the BBC website that Tom dotes on usually on the podcast, they won 1, drawn 1, lost.
I won 3.
So it's not as I thought. They were just coasting. I thought they'd lost a few more than they have, but obviously that they haven't.
They've won as many
80
of us
points
in the last 6, to be fair.
Yeah, so it's not all as bad as it seems at West Brom.
It's down to the run.
Yeah,
Us.
yeah.
So, just in a different.
Because I think because they've been up there for so long, a bit like us last season, they've known they're going to be playoffs. I kind of feel like they've took their foot off the pedal a little bit.
Yeah, because we were at Millwall. Do you remember and the end of the season last year, and that really was a training game.
Yeah, Bum was in goal, wasn't he? Saved a penalty.
But I didn't see any of that on Sunday. I didn't notice any of that on Sunday. I didn't notice anyone taking their foot off the gas. I didn't notice any, even within the stadium. I thought from what I saw,
good atmosphere.
It was a good atmosphere. It was packed. It was a full house. Norwich fans brought a lot to it as well, and like respect to them. I think what they've done is phenomenal. Farke has been an absolute revelation.
Fair play to the board for sticking with him as well, because they had a difficult season last season,
Well,
selling their best players this summer.
I watched the pre-match YouTube interview with Tom and the guy, the guy from the Forest fan, and he was
Norwich fan.
Sorry, the Norwich fan. I didn't realise they were in such financial difficulties.
Yeah, their budget's so low, so low.
Like, we thought we were bad, but they were. He said they were in a real mess.
Well, they've made £40 million from Maddison and Murphy in the summer and pretty much not spent it.
Not spent a penny of it.
So that tells you how well they've done.
And it just shows you as well, like, it's all about, if you get a coach in like Farke, and I think we have that in Dean Smith, who coaches the players and who instills what he wants and a philosophy into players. They don't have to be world class players from the off. It's all about you look at players like Pogba and Co at United, all the talent in the world, but just a stinking attitude.
They're not a team, are they?
They're just not a team. They're not a team.
Individuals.
And I've found since we've come down in the Championship, we've been a real team of individuals.
We've been a team of individuals at times this season. Since that half time at Stoke that seems to have turned it around. From then on, we've become just this unit, this team, which is it's weird how it just changed.
I think
obviously Jack coming back,
and Mings has had a lot. He's had a huge play on that as well. He's had a huge say on that. But listen, it was. It was what it was on Sunday, and I'm not too downbeat by it. I thought we came out of the game with our heads up high, and watching fan cams on Sunday, there's still a really positive mood around.
There's no need to be. There's no need not to be.
No one's really that upset. No one's that downbeat. It doesn't really change much in terms of going into the playoffs. I think if we had a full strength team on Sunday, we would have easily won that.
I wasn't too upset on Sunday, I've got to admit. It was disappointing to concede the second because I thought it was a sloppy goal again. My dad
backed off.
My dad seemed devastated by it. He was just like, we don't deserve that. We don't deserve to lose this game at all. So he was upset by it. But
I think a point. A
draw 100% would have been a fair result.
I thought it was going to pan out into a draw, and that would have been well deserved.
Let's talk about our goal a little bit. I mean, I wanted to talk about the Pookie goal, but we've kind of got away from it a little bit now. Just actually, let's touch on Pookie a little bit. He's annoyed me all season. Every time you look, Pookie scored, and I kept thinking that won't last. There's no way he'll keep scoring. But he has, and I believe he's got the golden boot, hasn't he?
30 goals. In just 30 league goals. That's not 30 goals in all competitions.
That's incredible.
That's just league.
I doubt he's played 46 games either. Obviously, I don't know. But I doubt he's played every single game.
He doesn't strike me as being... He looks like a bit of a Grant Holt. He looks kind of stocky and a bit of a weight and a bit bulky.
I didn't notice him in the game.
Very special.
I didn't notice him at all in the game, but he kept finding he'd get in behind every now and again. He's not particularly quick, which tells me he's got good movement.
I'm trying to think what attributes he possesses, because usually you straight away you can go, he's quick, he's clever, he doesn't seem to have, as you said, maybe his movement, but I've not watched enough of him this season to really. No,
I've got to say they've got some really good players. They're two fullbacks, both come through the academy.
Aarons,
Lewis and Aarons.
Yeah,
I thought they were both really good as well, like a constant outlet, both pacey, athletic, could put a good ball in the box. I thought they were very, very good players, and they'll do well in the Premier League. But I heard a little story about Pookie last week. Me and Tom last week were chatting to the Sky security guard who's a Celtic fan, and we were just talking about the Championship in general.
Yeah.
And he was saying that Pookie was at Celtic, which I did know.
Was he?
But he said he didn't get a game at all, and when he did play, he was a defender. But he said he just couldn't get in the team. He just was perceived as not good enough, and then he's pretty much.
Under Rodgers or under?
I couldn't tell you, but he's gone back to I think he went back to Scandinavia or whatever. He's come in as a bit of a nothing signing for Norwich this season, but absolutely terrorised the Championship.
How much did they pay for him?
Not much at all. He may have even been a free transfer. I mean, I'm sure I can see you now googling
Having
it.
a little bit of a Wikipedia.
I mean, this has turned into a bit of a Talk Norwich City podcast. To be honest,
he played 26 goals for Celtic and 26 games and scored 7 goals.
Really, but he was a bit of a utility player, I think.
He was only there for a season and he scored 7 goals in 26.
It just shows you that certain players go to certain places and they just hit it off. You don't need to spend a fortune. It's about implementing the right characters into the right setup, into the right dressing room, into the right ethos. You don't need to spend millions and millions of pounds to get out of the Championship, which is what we've tried to do in the last 2 years.
And it's not worked. And I've said this before. I've said this on the channel before. Gone are the days of us spending 15-20 million pounds on a player that comes in and doesn't really want to play for the badge, doesn't really want to play for the shirt. And I've always said that you look at some of the big clubs and some of the best players in the world. A lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them come through the ranks or have been there from a really, really young age.
Yeah.
And
look,
are
Ajax.
just ingrained in the philosophy of the club. You know, our best player, even Gabby to an extent over the years was when he was on form. He was
our best player though at that point. Even when he was on form.
Under O'Neill, he was the man. Like he was.
I think I'd probably disagree with you and say Young and Milner, but okay, that's fine. That's just opinion. It's opinion based, all, and you can have your opinion.
And then we look at Grealish now. You know,
the real deal, the real deal, mate.
So for me, if we are not to go up next season, which I know is a possibility, and I know it'll be a bit of a disaster, I'd still be fairly confident walking out of Wembley. Let's just say hypothetically we walk out of Wembley and we don't go up again this season.
We've got to get there first.
But I'll be a lot happier in myself and in the club this season than last season.
At the time, not going up last season was an absolute disaster,
and we didn't even know what we were at.
I think we had a vague idea that there might be some problems, but nowhere near the extent. Yeah, if we don't go up this season, it's a disaster from the terms of, I think the loan players, none of them will be coming back, and obviously it's going to be very difficult to keep hold of our star man. But I believe we've got the right manager to do that, building the club up from the ground up. So I want us to go up. I'm sick of being in the Championship, if I'm being honest with you. I want us to be in the Premier League. You know, a really simple thing. I want to watch us playing UHD.
When
we're on the telly away from home and I'm not there.
Match day as well, man.
I've had having to watch Quest.
Yeah.
I've had having to
big up to Colin Murray though.
Yeah, do you like that? Of course you do. Of course you like Colin Murray. Let's get back to the game. So Villa equalised. We looked in a bit of trouble and we pulled one out of the hat from a set play again. Horahan with yet another assist.
He's the
from
one
set
that's starting to come round and the fans are starting to go, do you know what?
Well, we've been saying that for years.
You have, you've especially come on here. Obviously, you're on every week, and you've always had us back. And
well, people make out like set piece delivery isn't a valuable skill. How many goals have we scored after free kicks?
Beckham, what was Beckham famous for?
Yeah,
set pieces.
Exactly.
He wasn't pretty quick. He wasn't very skillful. Just had an absolute wand of a right foot. You know, Horahan's got a wand of a left foot. Criticism being, and I've said this to him as well. Like I've told him, if only he was a little bit more two-footed.
Oh, he doesn't like his right foot.
Doesn't like his right foot. He can't use it. And I've said that to him, and he's like, you know what? I totally agree. That's the only criticism I would have. Bit more two-footed, and he'd be away. You know.
When I did that Soccer AM shoot last year, when I was in goal with Snodgrass and Horahan, I heard them agree. We'll do left-footed and right-footed. So Snodgrass did his. And he used his left foot and his right foot, and then he went to Connor.
Just his left foot.
His left foot. He does not like using his right foot. But what a left foot.
Stunning.
Dead ball deliveries. I was thinking about this during the game. Actually, I was thinking he didn't actually get that many assists last season as I thought he did. I think he only got like 4.
11 this season, isn't it?
This season 11, but he wasn't taking the set pieces last season. Snodgrass took them all, didn't he? And I got to be honest, Snodgrass's dead balls last season perhaps weren't as good as they should be to justify having.
I thought he put in some whirlies.
I don't know. I think if Connor had been taken, we'd have scored a few more goals from set pieces last season. I remember when Big Samba was playing. Connor putting it on a plate for Big Samba.
Big Chrissy Samba.
Yeah. But Codger, second home game running as bagged. He's playing in Tammy's place. Obviously, he's not going to get the striking berth.
Yeah, people have been saying this, and I'll go off a little bit. And just we had so many questions in today. So many people talking about who do you play? Do you play Codger? Do you play him on the right? He scores 3 and 4. Does he deserve to start? For me, the team goes straight back to the way it was.
You wouldn't play him on the wing in the playoffs.
No, I don't think he works hard enough.
What if you're chasing? Let's just say we have a disaster in the first game.
I wouldn't start him.
No, but let's say we have a disaster in the first game, we lose 2-0 or whatever. Go to West Brom in the second leg, you need a couple of goal scorers on the pitch.
Oh,
Would you play him on the right wing then, for example?
Yeah.
But do you think he works better as an impact sub?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, look at Rotherham away. Come on and change the game.
Yeah, he did.
Outstanding. Like, I mean, he was a 10 out of 10 in that second half. You have that Kodja, that was like reminiscent of the first season. You see that week in, week out, and it's hard not to play him. Because for me, and this may sound a bit silly, but for me, a 10 out of 10 Kodja has more about him than a 10 out of 10 Abraham. I think he's just got a few more attributes to his game.
I just don't think the 10 out of 10 Kodja ever comes there.
Well, that's it.
I mean, 10 out of 10 Abraham's more likely.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he was only to bring his game, if it was only to have that consistency in his game, I think with Kodja, I think it's more of a kind of it's a mental thing with him. You know, it's like sometimes he decides to turn up when he wants to turn up, and I had that criticism about El Ghazi as well. You know, I thought
he sorted that out,
and he's really. I mean, he's come on leaps and bounds, and he's becoming an 8 out of 10 every game.
I disagree with you on the Kodja thing. I think Tammy's the better footballer. Kodja's a wild card. He's erratic for me.
He is, but he's
a wild card.
He's a wild card in the sense that, like, he could just do something just out of the blue.
He can, but this is how I look at it. Right, he scores on Sunday. Good finish, good ball in. It's a difficult finish. He's not struck it cleanly, which I think has worked to his advantage.
Yeah.
But it's a good finish. But then I think he scores the goal, and he kind of thinks, I've done what I need to do today. And he did have a couple of chances afterwards. I'm not going to knock him too much. Obviously, he's been scoring goals, but I just don't, like you said, the mental thing.
Yeah.
I think he's 3 seconds behind what he should be doing off the ball. Whereas I think Tammy gives you that, and Tammy's more important off the ball. He does more off the ball than Kodja does.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing with you. There's a great footballer in there in Kodja because he is a fantastic footballer. By the way, his kid looked like a good player as well, pulling off over kids overhead kicks after the game. But I just think he can do more. And I don't think he likes the dirty side of the game. And I think, especially in the playoffs, that's what you need.
That's why I wouldn't start him. On Saturday. I wouldn't start him. But as you say, if we need to chase a game, or if we're struggling even on Saturday, for me, if we're 0-0 or it's tight on Saturday,
he comes on.
He comes on without
impact player.
Yeah. And then maybe if we're chasing the game on Tuesday night, then we start him. You know.
What do you make of a Doma at the moment? Because he's another one who's frustrating me a little bit. I feel like he should be doing a little bit more when he plays. I just feel like he's on the periphery of games a little bit. I don't want to say he's the weak link, because I think that's harsh. But he's the one I'd like to see a bit more of when he's on the pitch, out of the ones that you'd expect to start.
I think he had such a good season last year. He was so important to us, and without Albert Duma last year, we wouldn't have gotten.
I know he carried a lot of the burden.
You know, he carried us through last season. I mean, you look at that run we went on, and his goals and his overall play was just incredible. So it's hard to knock him really, but I just think he had such a bad start to the season. It's such an unsettled start to the season. Bruce clearly didn't want him there. Tried to ship him off, and it was hard for him, you know. And I think he's come back in the last sort of 10 games. He's not been like outstanding, but he's still about a few goals, and he's still done a job.
And he works hard.
And he works hard. He's not the player he was last season. He probably won't be with us next season. I can't see him being with us next season. So. Listen, I've got a lot of respect for him. I think he's been a great servant for us over the last 3 years. Never had a bad word to say against the club. Seems like a lovely bloke. Great around the dressing room. He's just not quite hit the heights this season. And I think the standards, because he was frustrating in his first season. You know, he was so wasteful in his first season.
Yeah, he really was.
And then to go from that to real, like, what did he get? 15 goals for us last season.
16, I think. Yeah.
He was like, for me, he was the first name on the team sheet last season.
But even then, from February onwards, he kind of tailed off big time.
He did. Well, he did, but then...
He was poor in the playoff final last year.
He was, but we were all poor.
No, most were, except for Jack, to be fair. But that you know, that's the big occasion when you're looking towards your top scorer. Come on, let's do something there.
Completely. But I think a lot of last season, the playoff final was tactics. I really do. Let's not go into it. But
I think on the back of it, off the back of that, there was no tactics.
Well,
Give the ball to Jack, see what happens.
Yeah.
Seemed to be the tactic last season.
Yeah. But I just think he had such a great season last season, and we all expected so much more from this season, and it didn't start off well for him personally, and it's just been a bit flat for him, you know. I still think that's our weakest area. I still think
Someone said
Green,
that.
El Ghazi, Kodja, Adoma. I still don't think it's quite good enough.
Hopper Ben said that actually in the questions. He said, "Where's the one area you think we need to strengthen for him? The weak link at the moment is the wingers."
Yeah, fullback.
I think you've been a bit harsh on El Ghazi. Also Green. See, I'd be playing Green. I'd be playing Green and El Ghazi on the wings.
I haven't seen anything from Andre Green to make me think.
Really?
No, I just don't see anything in him. He's got such a bad first touch. He's just a little bit like, I don't know, he's a bit of a rabbit in a headlight for me. He's a little bit over the shop. He just doesn't look like he's really kind of, knows what he's doing. He kind of gets the ball and runs.
Maybe I've got my Villa specs on it a little bit, but I always think he looks lively. I always think he's more
looks
I feel
lively,
like
but
El Ghazi's a guaranteed starter.
For me, El Ghazi's played himself into the team.
He's 100%.
And he's been brilliant.
That
the
other
last
spot's up
6-7
for
games.
grabs, isn't it? That other spot. And for me, he gets the shirt because out of all of them, I think he's the more likely to make something. Out of him and Adoma, I look at them and think Green's more likely to make something happen.
He gets the shirt just because he's younger and he
adds a bit of pace.
He adds a bit of pace and he's a bit tricky. But you look at him against Birmingham, he come on, and albeit him again came on and changed that game, but he missed an absolute sitter against Birmingham. He's missed a couple of sitters. He gets himself.
But
he gets himself into good positions, and he doesn't quite have that end product. And I do think his first touch is dreadful for someone of his of his age, and
He had a lot of injuries.
He has, but for me, the first touch should be a basic as a footballer, and I always just think his first touch lets him down.
Would you pick Adoma then?
No, I'd pick Green over Adoma. No, I'd pick Green over Adoma, but I just think he's just got a lot. He's got, as you say,
he's only 19, 20, remember?
Yeah, he for me at this minute he adds more to the team than Adoma does, but I still think he's got a lot to work on, and I still think his first touch for me is miles off.
Think back to that Sheffield Wednesday game, the McGinn goal. He's chased an absolute. It's a good ball from Mings. He's chased that down, and he's putting a perfect ball across. And he's had other
that's
games
why you bring him in, because Adoma wouldn't have reached that.
But he's put in other balls that have been similar to that people haven't scored. So I think he actually has made a few chances. I think he put one across on Sunday actually, and I can't remember it. I've not got it down here, but he put the ball across, and it was a great cross, and we didn't finish. He was unlucky with he shot at the one you said earlier that he missed. It's a good block.
Yeah,
it's a good block. You can't do anything about that.
No,
I just think
the Blues.
He is a confidence player, Andre Green.
The Blues' chance as well. He has to go with his foot. Like he has to go with his foot.
Yeah.
But as we often harp back, he's one of our own, and he'll die for the shirt, and that's what you want. That's what you want.
I think he starts Saturday for sure at home.
I think he starts Saturday, and I think for me we just revert back to the tried and tested 11 that's been record breakers.
I mean, we're getting away a bit from the Norwich game. We haven't finished summarising. But
I'm done with the Norwich game.
Well, you don't move on. No, you can't do that just because I did it a few weeks ago. And Tom wanted to talk about the Bolton game.
Yeah, I know. Dead game.
You're talking about the team set in stone. Who's playing in that as that third midfield then with McGinn and Grealish?
Hurahan.
You think he'll start?
100%.
You think?
Yeah.
I would personally play Hurahan, but I think Whelan will play.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what I think will happen.
But I don't know why. I don't know why you would think
you just raved about Whelan a second ago.
Yeah, but he's a great player, but I still think, for me, Hurahan deserves a shirt.
I would 100% pick
and
Hurahan.
Those three, for me, have a better synergy and a better bond than when Whelan's in the team. And as you say, at home, you have to have all your weapons in the starting 11, and his left foot is an absolute weapon.
Yeah.
And with Mings, Twanzebe,
That's a good team, isn't it?
Well, you talk about height and set pieces. Do you bring Courtney Horse back into left back, or does Taylor deserve?
I don't think you can take Neil Taylor out of the team, and I don't think he will.
He's playing the way he played when he first came into the club. Like another one, purely is just completely changed his fortunes at the club.
Well, Elmo was getting slammed at Christmas.
You can't drop,
and he's 100% starting.
Got left out on Sunday because he's our born right back. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rested.
Did you think it was encouraging that we actually had 5 people out rested 5 key players rested on Sunday, but Norwich were going full tilt, best team, and we gave them a good game
Totally,
with 5
man.
missing.
Completely.
It's a good sign, isn't it?
That's what I said too. That's what I said at sort of the podcast. That to me is a sign of Smith's ethos and the way he wants to sort of his teams to play. It's running through the entire squad.
They all know their jobs.
They all know their jobs, and I think Hurahan alluded to it as well in his post-match interview. These 5 or 6 lads came in and kind of got it. You know, apart from the first 5 minutes, they got the way we played, and it can't be easy coming into the team. I mean, you know, those guys 10 in a row, like, you know.
Well, that's Lansbury's first start of the season,
which is mad.
40 grand a week, and that's his first start of the season. Has come on the last game.
Madness.
He just has pure injuries since he's been here.
Yeah. So and he did all right.
I mean, I never really. I'm going to say again. I've not seen anything from Lansbury since he's been here that's made me think he's a really good player. Although I know, obviously, I've seen him play for Forest, so I know he is a good player. But at Villa, I've not seen anything from him. But I've got to say, I was impressed with him on Sunday.
Well, apart from the first game against Preston, when he was spraying balls left, right,
but he was
centre.
doing that again on and so I always think he looks a bit slower than he should, a bit less mobile than he should. Lansbury. I remember him being all action at Forest. And he looks slower since he's been at Villa.
I mean, when I saw him when he first came in, I remember I was at the Rotherham away game when we won 2-0, and I were turning to my friend Kieran and saying it's like he's running on quicksand.
Yeah,
very leggy.
I mean, he won't play in the playoffs.
He might
unless his injuries.
He might get some game time, depending on how it pans out. But for me, he's obviously behind Whelan. You know, for me, it goes Hurahan, Whelan, then Lansbury, then
he's fifth choice. He's fifth choice, isn't he?
He's fourth choice.
No, he's fifth, mate. Jack, McGinn, Whelan. Yeah, but Hurahan are the 4, and then he's fifth after that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it in terms of coming on as a sub. If you start Hurahan, then who's going to come on? Because you won't sub McGinn or
depends on the game's going, I guess.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? So for me, it goes Whelan, Lansbury, and then Bjarnason.
Bjarnason won't be here next season.
No, he won't.
He didn't look that interested on Sunday. If I'm being honest,
no.
It's going to keep tripping me up, the fact that we played on Sunday. I keep saying it. The goal. Let's talk about the second goal for Norwich.
It's backed off and backed off.
It really annoyed my dad. I don't think anyone else was that arsed, to be honest, but it really annoyed my dad. And it was just too easy, wasn't it? The first guy travelled way too far, and then when Vrancic got the ball, we kind of parted and said, here you are, have a shot.
Go for it.
It was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was.
You're not bothered,
I'm not bothered, I'm not bothered. I'm bothered, but
these are the kind of things that won't happen in the playoffs.
It won't happen, and for me, Sunday was not a reflection of where we're at as a football team.
No.
It's nowhere near a reflection. Although we played well, the mistakes that we made were mistakes from players that haven't played first team football in quite a long time.
I thought Hutton had a tough time defensively at times. He looked good going forward, but he did have a tough time defensively. Both goals have come down that side. That's not me picking on Hutton, but that's just a fact that both goals have come down his side.
Yeah.
And I think with Elmo playing, those goals perhaps don't happen.
I agree. And what a servant. What a player.
Yeah, let's talk about it. He got such a good reception on Sunday. I've got to say, magnificent.
It's phenomenal, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it, and another one of those players that's come back time and time again, and that desire he's shown over the years when he's been bombed out by
probably his last game.
Yeah, I think that this is it now. I think this is it. It's a bit like how long can he go on for? Even if we don't go up for me, he doesn't fit the mould.
Well, we've signed Gilbert, haven't we, to play right back next season. Elmo, you'd imagine.
Still there.
I mean, Brie, I don't think really rips it up at Ipswich, so I think he's going to be gone in the summer, I would imagine.
Either way, there's a big transitional period, but Hutton for me will always be a Villa legend.
You're a legend, not an icon.
I suppose just icon legends.
He'll go down as a legend for a lot of people, I'm sure. I mean, just for that goal against Blues, it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
I love people and players that have a real strong mentality and what's the word? An affinity and a bond, and he never gave up, and he'd say dumped off to Bolton, dumped out to Spain,
Forest he went to as well, didn't he?
And he came back, and you see what it means to him. Like Hull, first game of the season, what a moment that was, and then
the crowd with Pat Toller,
and then Blues was incredible, and I think it's the right time for him to go, and I think he'll go, and he might do one more season elsewhere, but
Do you reckon he'll go to Sheffield Wednesday with Bruce?
That's all he could do.
Bruce likes him, doesn't he?
Bruce likes him, yeah. To play at centre back.
Oh God, I don't think he wants to be doing that. Probably play left back.
Left back's
probably the more likely, isn't it? I think we can. Many people have got opinions on Alan Hutton. I think there are people who revere him and love him, and there's people that say he's terrible and he's had way too long in a Villa shirt. The reality is, it's probably somewhere in the middle. But one thing you can never do, you can never ever fault his attitude.
And that's what it's all about. Attitude, man. Attitude to me is the most important thing, right? You can have all
attitude's what's got him the extra time at Villa.
Totally, man. You can have all the ability in the world, but if you're an absolute prat and your attitude stinks, then you're not going to get anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And there's plenty of players playing at the minute at the highest level, and their attitude stinks, and fans are getting sick of it. They're getting sick of it, and I honestly don't think these players. I think fans will hound them out of their clubs because you just don't want it, man. You just don't need it, and you don't want to see it. And I think the last 2 seasons are the squad of players that we've assembled. Their attitude's been fantastic, and you can't argue with that.
Yeah, see, it was a good. I think we forget a little bit and are guilty of rewriting history in some ways. We had a good team last season.
A great team.
It was a different kind of team. I think Connor alluded to that in his interview. It was a different kind. Did you watch that? You watched that interview on the club channel. He obviously eaten some toffee or something before. He was desperately trying to get something out of his teeth all the way through that interview. But yeah, it was a different side last season. It was perhaps more. There's more experience in there this year. It feels a bit fresher with the likes of McGinn in the midfield, doesn't it? It just feels like a different side.
I agree.
Mings and Twanzebe are going to be playing at the back. Although I did make a note here that I saw Twanzebe limping towards the end of the game, which was a little bit of a worry. I've not heard anything since.
It's a worry, but we've got so many good options now at centre back.
No, I agree with you, but I want it to be those two, Twanzebe and Mings.
There was a pass from just the way they're watching the game and the highlights and stuff. There was a few moments where he just sort of carries the ball out of defence and just plays the right ball on the deck.
Yeah.
And everything just starts to flow. There's no big long diagonal, there's no it's the composure he has.
We've got some good passes in our team, I must say, and a few of them are defenders.
Yeah.
It's really good to see.
But the composure he has is incredible. And
I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were watching Clubfoot Lescott play at centre back for us, was it? Really? Now look at us.
Bakuna at right back.
And that's the thing. Think about this. Think about a few years ago, we had Lescott playing centre back, apparent boyhood Villa fan, captain in the club, blatantly taking the mick. Tyrone Mings has come in on loan. And look at the attitude. That would have been the attitude I would have expected from someone who was a Villa fan.
Is he the best? Is he one of the best signings we've ever made?
I think he might go down as the best loan signing we've ever made. I think people probably would have said Snodgrass last season, best ever loan signing, but I think Mings just trumped even Snodgrass, to be honest, and it's half a season. Did you see the video of him with the fans after the game, stopping for photos and fans were singing his name? He pulled up in his car and was chatting to the fans. He seems like a genuine nice bloke, and he's an absolute titan.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, he really is. Listen, if we go up next season, we have whatever they want.
It's going to be so difficult either way, I think, to get him. It's going to be so difficult. I want it to happen because I think he does go down as best loan signing ever. Let us know in the comments if that's true.
It would be so Villa, wouldn't it? You resurrect the player's career and then we don't get to keep him. But then again, listen, if we don't get him in the summer and we go up, at least he's played a major part in getting us to where we want to be.
Yeah, there is that.
Either way, it's a win-win. And
it's just the Sam Johnston thing, isn't it? Last year we had Sam Johnston on loan. He did really well, although I don't think he's done that great at West Brom. I don't think the West Brom fans are keen on him.
I just don't think he wants to be there, man.
What do you think he's going to be thinking going into the playoffs?
Well, hopefully deja vu for him, But
be nice to see him make a mistake. And I like Sam Johnston, obviously.
I like him too, mate.
You shouldn't wish mistakes on too many people, but obviously we'd like to see one. If he wants to chuck it in the ball in the net on Saturday, then be my guest, Sam.
Crack on, mate.
Let's talk about West Brom then. I was going to talk about the lap of honour a little bit. Did you see any of the lap of honour?
I did. I loved seeing Glenn Whelan's son.
Looks a player, Glenn Whelan's son.
Playing a bit of footy.
Should get some of these players signed up. Codger's kid looked quite handy. Glenn Whelan's kid looked good.
Yeah. It was lovely, man. It was lovely, and it was a lot better than the Arsenal lap of honour.
I haven't seen it.
There was no there.
I was just thinking, how great must it be to just be involved in football in those moments? Just to have your dad as a footballer or something like that. It seems great, doesn't it?
Carries 2 kids as well.
Yeah,
I did
in last season's kit.
I was going to say, they're in last season's kit.
Because they wanted the 26 Terry on the back, didn't they?
They couldn't have got him
They were throwing some slide tackles around about the pair of them. The groundsman won't be happy with the pitch damage that was going on. There was a lot of slide tackles going on.
Slide tackles, but no, it was lovely, man, and it was nice. I think I wasn't there, but was it packed? Was it pretty packed?
Yeah, a lot of people stayed behind. To be fair, a fair few stayed behind to witness Norwich lifting the trophy as well. Although the organisation of that seemed absolutely shambolic.
Wow.
It was like they turned up with a load of stage, but no plan. They wanted built the stage, and then it was like the Villa Tannoy announcer was like just reading. He was reading the players out as they were coming, but he was like reading out the wrong squad numbers for them and stuff like. It was weird. It just seemed not planned at all.
Doesn't surprise me.
Strange. But the Villa lap of honour was. I always think the lap of honour is good. It's nice to see the players with their families and stuff. It humanises them a little bit. I mean, I think to us, their players are perhaps more humanised than to the average fan.
Completely.
But it just, I think it humanises them, and you like see Connor walking on with his little baby, wheeling, playing football with his
Chelsea
with his kid.
With his little
they're just a great lads. And he sounds like David O'Leary. Then they're just a great bunch of lads. And last season was a great bunch of lads as well. Noticed that James Chester seems to have named his child after Henry Lansbury.
Yeah.
Henry Lansbury's got to be pleased with that.
I thought he was going to call him Chris. To be honest,
no chance. Not middle name, not Christopher.
Is it?
I'm not asking you.
No, it's not.
I don't know. You praying that it was.
Don't know.
I'd be surprised. I mean, you can let us know at the christening, I guess. Talk about West Brom again a little bit. There's a little bit of talk of revenge after the Hand of Rod in the Christmas game. I do kind of feel like karma's going to come back round. We were clearly cheated out 3 points that night. They gained points that they should never have got. I mean, he handballed it twice.
Hasn't really made a difference.
But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like some kind of karma's going to roll around for us against them. Or
I wouldn't look at it that way. I just honestly think if we just carry on doing what we're doing, it's not rocket science. Just keep on doing what we're doing, and I think whenever we played them in December at their place, they were probably the most informed team in the league. They were top 2 or 3 at the time, and I thought it was going to be a tough game. And the amount of chances we had in that game, man.
Tammy missed
a couple of sitters, and it's like you just kind of knew it mightn't have been our night with the amount of chances that we missed. I recall missing one straight after we scored the equaliser. We missed an absolute sitter as well, didn't we?
I can't remember, man. I was hammered in New York.
Oh yeah, you were in New York.
Yeah, it was good. That was probably one of my favourite games of the season, actually. Even though the result was bad.
But for us to go there and we weren't at our best. We were
just about to say that.
We were nowhere near playing at the levels.
We were playing well at the time, but not peak.
For me, they were at the peak of their power.
Yes, you robbed what I was going to say again.
We were nowhere near the peak of our power.
You're annoying me.
And that's why I think it's just a completely different game. 2 completely different teams from what it was. You look back at the home game in February.
That was a million miles away from our best.
They still weren't great by all accounts.
They were there for the taking.
They were there for the taking that day, exactly. And we played well, but just had no luck at the time. So for me, we're favourites. For me.
Are we the favourites for promotion playoffs overall? I've not looked at the odds. I'd imagine
with the way Leeds are getting on.
Yeah, struggled against Ipswich.
Did you see Roof's penalty?
Yeah, shades of Matt Lynch, mate.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah,
shades of Matt Lynch.
Yeah, something's not right there, man. It doesn't seem like a happy camp.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
You look at the whole Bielsa thing, just quickly, like, and it was almost like the Kepa Sarri thing, you know.
Disobeying instructions.
Just disobeying, you know, and you wonder if Bielsa's decision to give us the goal back. You wonder if that could damage the squad and the spirit.
You think that's inadvertently caused them internal problems?
I don't know, but I don't know. But like, who goes to Ipswich? One of the worst teams the Championship's ever seen.
I mean, we went there and drew 0-0.
It was 1-1. But
it was 1-0. God, dear.
Yeah, but again, we were nowhere near our best. But I
mean, we were barely a football side at that point.
Exactly. So there's something not right. Well, there's something not right.
Yeah, I like
Leeds are the only team I fear. The only team I fear.
I felt like that last year with Fulham worryingly.
But for me, we are. I'm hoping we're going to get into the heads of other teams the way Fulham got into our head, because I was terrified against Fulham.
I think the difference is now is pure. You know what the biggest thing is? I think we've got a better side this season, but I don't even think that's the biggest thing. I think it's the manager. Tactical flexibility.
Yeah.
I think he can make decisions during the game if things aren't going well. The game was not going well And Bruce did not know what to do.
No.
I don't want to talk about last year too much. I kind of wanted to forget about it. And I don't think the players will be thinking about last year at all. Again, someone.
I still maintain the fact it's the best thing that could have happened to us.
Losing in the playoff.
I completely maintain the fact it's the best thing that could have
looking
happened
back,
to us.
it probably was.
It's the best thing that could have happened to our football club, and you look at where we are now compared to where we were 12 months ago, and I think we're in such a better position, and there's a little bit of fate as well. Like you look at the Milwaukee Bucks are on the verge of doing something special.
Yeah, they're flying.
They just beat Boston Celtics, didn't they?
Yeah,
and they've got the star man in the league as well, haven't they?
Arguably the best player in the NBA.
So I'm wondering, like, is there going to be a bit of
Giannis
going
and
on
a bit
here?
of
You know,
Grealish.
what's the fact that like Eden's sort of cones them both? You know, is there going to be a double whammy? Is it all just written in the stars? Is it just the way it's going to be? You look at Company last night, and it's just those little stories, man. Like it's funny, like looking back at the last 10, 12 games. Things have just kind of gone our way.
The whole Jack captaincy thing, I always think is interesting. Like, obviously,
I called it, said it was the best thing, best decision Smith has made in his time. And people are going, "Oh, Jack, I'm not having that. I'm not having that." But
difficult for you with your brother James being the previous club captain, isn't it?
But the fact that, like, as I said, you know, Grealish, for me, if he wasn't captain against Blues, would have reacted. I think he would have reacted, and I think.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I don't think he would have done.
No, I don't know. I think it would have got to him. It would have got to him more. It would have got to him more.
Surprised Kevin wasn't on the pitch.
But
to be honest,
the fact that he's captain, and the fact that he knows he needs to lead by example, I think it's just turned him around as a player and as an overall sort of his overall demeanour. I think it's an absolute stroke of genius.
But you think you're talking about the fight like Company last night? Are you talking about that being a fight moment? Obviously, I'm not counting our chickens just yet. But if we could just get to Wembley, the whole Jack as captain thing. It making him stay, things like that.
You'd be bawling your eyes out. You'd be cramped for. If I was Grealish, I'd be in floods of tears.
We won't be going home. We won't be going home, mate. If we get to Wembley and win, we will not be going home.
Like you'll
be out with Villa on tour or not?
It would just be an absolute. It would just. You just can't write those sort of scripts, and it's just
We've got to get there first.
Got to get there first, man.
Yeah,
got to get there first.
It's dangerous thing to say. I really fancy us over 2 legs.
I don't. Oh yeah, I fancy us over 2 legs, but I don't fancy us. I still don't fancy us to go up.
Really?
I don't.
Once you get there, you've obviously got a 50-50 chance, mate.
Yeah, I just never. I was speaking to someone yesterday about it, and it's like it's ingrained in you. It's ingrained in you to fail, because all I've known in the last 26 years is pretty much failure.
Yeah, but
really.
Look at that. Think about that. But then also think about. We broke history this season in that 10 wins in a row. This is a different team. This is a whole different kettle of fish.
It is. And that's what I'm thinking as well.
It could be a really special time.
It could be.
Villa Man as manager, Villa Man as captain, a bunch of players that we all love and think are great.
And
could be the start of something.
Who'd have thought that?
Madness, absolute madness, mate.
You know, doesn't get much better than that, does it?
12 games ago, we were on our knees. You were on Twitter saying you were done with the season.
You were far ahead.
I was about to say, I came on the podcast and said, I just want this season to end now. Mm-hmm. There's a picture of me with my fingers crossed over something. I can't remember what it was. Video of me. I think it was over Blues getting a point deduction just because I wanted to finish ahead of them, just to give us something. I felt broken. I just thought, I can't believe how this season's unravelled. Next thing you know, you're watching some of the best football you've ever seen.
But that's how fickle football is, man. And that's why you have to just, in the end, you just have to, like, as the cliche goes, don't get too high when you win and don't get too low when you lose, because there's always going to be those moments of.
I feel like you get lower with the defeats than you do
I do. But listen, man, Saturday's going to be it'll be a special day, and once again I've got to work. So
it's all right, mate. Just swear on the podcast.
I bleeped it out.
Rollo loves the editing.
I bleeped it out.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, got to
make a note of that. 48 minutes. Don't want to lost the plot. What was I going to say? I just have a brief check on Derby Leeds in the playoffs. Derby have obviously got.
I fancy Derby.
Do you?
Yep.
And they're perennial partners.
If we play Derby in the final.
Oh, look at him. I don't think we will. I just think after that game the other week, I think it's written in the stars, Villa Leeds.
After what happens?
At one point, we were going to have Leeds, weren't we?
Yeah,
for
the weekend, all of 6 minutes
for the 2 legs, and I was thinking, you know what? I don't fancy
that. No.
Because I actually think one of the advantages we've got over West Brom is the fans. I think the atmosphere at Villa Park, they can't match that atmosphere at the Hawthorns. No. Whereas I think Leeds, they perhaps can match the atmosphere. So that becomes a leveller.
If you haven't watched it, there's a podcast or a YouTube channel I've kind of started to watch a little bit
Has it been around
by
tour?
chance now, called Under the Cosh, with a couple of ex-footballers like Phil Parkin or something. A few ex kind of
Sam
middle of the road.
Parkin.
No, I don't know, but a few old sort of middle of the road footballers, and they're funny and it's good. But they went to Leeds Villa on that
I
Sunday.
might have seen a bit of this.
In the away end, there's kind of Villa fans.
Yeah.
Because they just want to they want to see atmosphere and they want to see, but
I hope their booking references have been checked.
they said it was unbelievable. Like, it was frightening.
Our away fans are unbelievable.
But just in general, the
Unbelievable.
atmosphere in general was just like phenomenal.
It's world class when it's good. Well, when things are going well, the atmosphere is pretty much unrivaled in the country. Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say no one can top what our away fans do. They're
Oh,
an
totally.
unbelievable bunch of people. I don't get to as many aways as I would like to.
I do more aways than home games.
But when I'm there, I absolutely love it. I love the people. There's something different about away games to home games. It's just special.
It's a family. It's a family,
Yeah,
man.
and the people that go away every week are a special bunch of people. They really, really are.
Oh yeah, totally.
Except for Aston Radford.
Nothing but respects. Yeah, Aston.
He's giving you a jiff, isn't he?
Life.
I'm looking forward to the charity boxing match at the end of the season between you and Aston.
He's got the left hook.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's getting the left hook, or he's got the left hook?
He's going to get a left
Oh,
hook.
okay. I definitely look forward to that. Maybe if we get this 7-a-side game off the ground, you can have some peace talks because you'll be on the same team. We don't want a Kieran Dyer Lee Bowyer moment.
I love Aston. He's a great lad.
In person, not so much when you're not seeing him. I would say
Bit of
he's
key-
better in person.
Bit of a keyboard warrior, but
He's better in person for sure.
he's a good lad.
Just want to talk a little bit about the under-23s because there has been a plethora
Yeah.
of players gone, and a
Really
couple that I'm really
surprising.
surprised at.
Mitchell Clark.
Mitch Clark's the main one. Did you see that article? His agent seemed like an absolute powerhouse the way he was talking him up.
No.
Oh, his agent, I was going to say, I wanted to represent me.
No.
I think he'll get me some work 100%.
Because I spoke on here when we were going through that centre back crisis.
And he was on loan.
About bringing him back, and about you were saying about building for the future, and he's definitely one for the future.
I thought he was part of the plans. I'm surprised.
So something's obviously gone on, but you know, again, if we go up next season, he's going to get nowhere.
From what I hear, that's the basis on why a lot of these players have left, in terms of they don't think they're going to be good enough for top 6 in the Championship. So therefore, even if we go up, they're definitely not going to be good enough for the
Exactly.
Premier League,
Harvey
which
Nibbs
seems
as well.
quite harsh.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's a ruthless game, football.
It really is.
Just give you a list of who's gone. So Mitch Clark, Prosser, Nibbs, McCurdy, Cox, Mooney, Lydon and Blackett Taylor.
Blackett Taylor's gone as well?
All gone. That is what I've been told, yeah.
But you've been told, or you've seen
Well,
it?
he's a pretty reliable source, so that's the list I've been given of who's gone.
And you Lydon's gone.
Yeah, well, we knew early doors Lydon was gone. I mean, he's
He's still training with the first
Jack
team, though.
Clark's been given a new contract. He's been captain in the under-23s recently. Jake Doyle has still had time to run on his deal.
How's he getting on at Cambridge?
I couldn't tell you. You have to ask Tom Julian at the Cambridge.
Oh, yeah.
He's our Cambridge source.
Cambridge.
And O'Hare, obviously, he's still here as well. Done well out on loan. O'Hare this season at Carlisle, I think it was. So yeah, was not expecting Mitchell Clark to go. That's the biggest surprise or
Blackett
takeaway
Taylor.
from
I thought
this.
Blackett Taylor had a feature. Nibs as well. He's been
If you
looking
think
for a
about
good
Blackett
McCurdy.
Taylor, he was around the first team a couple of years ago, and he's never kicked on from there. He came on at Huddersfield, I think, in Bruce's
did,
first half a season here, and he's just never really been seen again. I always thought he looked useful when I saw him, but you know what? The club see these people every day.
We don't see what goes on behind.
There's going to be a complete revamp of the under-23s. There's talk about us actually ditching under-23s altogether and going for an actual B team. Apparently that's what Chief Exec wants to do for Christian Purslow.
So
Apparently,
is it not the same thing?
I don't really know. Someone's asked about it, but I don't know enough about it to be John Mayle. It was who asked about that.
I thought they just kind of rebranded it.
Yeah, I'm
the
not
same
sure
thing,
what the difference is
essentially.
between a B team and an under-23s, but maybe we'll find out. Player of the Year awards happened last week. Unfortunately, we were not there.
I tried my best.
Our contacts let us down, Christopher Dolan being the main one, and the main letdown. So McGinn pretty much cleaned up in terms of Players Player of the Year and Fans Player of the Year, and probably expected to walk home with goal of the season, but did not. The one I called as goal of the season against Rotherham a few weeks back has won. Tom's going to be devastated.
See, I kind of... Yeah. For me, you know, McGinn's volley was just a worldly.
Yeah, it
And-
was. I think the Grealish goal was a worldie as well, though.
No, but if you
His
let me-
volley
if you let-
and his
if you-
Rotherham.
If you let me finish.
Sorry, I like to interrupt. Bring back Julian.
I think McGinn's technique was outstanding, and I think it was just one of those kind of freak. It's like a hole-in-one.
Who did you vote for? Or did
Grealish.
you not?
Grealish.
You vote for Grealish as well?
Yeah.
Tom would have definitely voted for McGinn.
The Rotherham goal. Dean Smith voted for McGinn as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
He wasn't there, was he? When that one went in, McGinn, it was Bruce.
He said I wasn't there, but I voted for it.
Ah.
It's kind of like a hole in one in golf. You know, you're always aiming to get as close to the target as possible, but if you get a hole in one,
Nice analogy.
then it's a bonus. I think with McGinn, you can't really like lens stiff that. It was just one of those like freak strikes. Whereas the Grealish goal,
But it's an
unbelievable strike. It is unbelievable, but it could have easily like company. It could have easily gone into Rosette. The Grealish goal for me was just like 10 men had to win the game. Like, you know, he picks it up pretty much the halfway line. 1-2, boom, drives forward. One touch there, Emma Hamley back in, and what a finish. For me, that was just that.
Barca-esque, I felt that goal was a little bit.
Stunning.
Who did you vote for Player of the Year?
McGinn.
I think most people would have done I did, to be honest. Not often the person I vote for wins, because I think I voted for Johnston last year and he didn't win.
Won last year?
No, I was about to say I can't even remember who won last year now. Who was it? Was it Chester?
I can't remember.
You'd remember if it was your brother, surely. I'm pretty sure it was Chester last year. Let's go to the viewer and listener questions / comments just to finish. So Martin Hanks, not a question, more of an answer. Glenn Whelan has to start over Horahan Saturday, and I can't believe how much he's improved. But we're saying that we'd do the opposite, aren't we? It's all right, mate. You just catch up with your text.
Sorry.
Do you even listen to what I said?
No, I messed up.
Right.
Sorry.
Amateur hour here. Martin Hanks, not a question, more of an answer. Glenn Whelan has to start over Horahan Saturday, and I can't believe how much he's improved. But we're saying the opposite here.
I'm saying the opposite. Possibly in the away leg. Possibly.
I think Whelan will play the away, but I've also got a feeling he'll play the home.
But for me, as I've said before, you can't. You need to go in with all your assets, your weapons, and Horahan's left foot is an absolute weapon. So for me, he starts.
Yeah.
You know, you can't drop anyone. 11 assists. You can't drop 11 assists.
His set pieces are just so dangerous.
And that's not me.
Well.
That's nothing against Glenn Whelan, but for me, Horahan.
We both like Whelan.
Just brings slightly more to the table.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually saying Horahan at home, definitely. Here, Peter Lockley is one of them. John Inslee, would you have preferred Leeds over two legs? Absolutely not, John. I don't know what you're getting at with that, son.
I like you, John, but nope.
I don't like him anymore after that question. And I don't like him because he's got a better collection of retro shirts than me either. Max Stokes, the King returns. I wasn't sure which one of us he was talking about, but I'm presuming it's you, as I've been here pretty much every single week.
Yes.
Victor Ramsey, not sure if he's a relation of Jacob Ramsey, says, question, not player for related. Andre Green and Jed Steer out of contract June 2019.
That's not
true. I'm pretty sure Andre Green's not.
Steer's
as
well.
well.
Contract.
He's definitely missed the Steer news there. You've missed that news, Victor. Steer's got another year. You've had some stick off a guy there, so we'll gloss over that.
Can we talk about this Marlon Harewood fascination?
It's just a little bit. Just a cult hero, a player that I liked.
Why?
Because he was fun. He's a fun player. He used to come off the bench, beat his chest, score over a kick at Anfield, and then walk off again. He used to take the ball in the corner flag after 50 minutes when we were beating Arsenal 1-0. You have to be a certain type of man to do things like that.
Give away penalties.
That was the early days. He scored 5 goals that season, or 6 goals that season. He only started 1 game.
Still not a great ratio.
He did bits for us. He only started 1 game. How can that not be a great ratio?
Bits and pieces.
Jesus. So yeah, this was the question from someone called Matt Lynch. Not sure who he is. In a hypothetical world, you can bring one former player on in the last 10 minutes of the playoffs to change a game. Could be because you're winning or losing. Who would it be? The more obscure, the better. And I said Marlon, because when you want a super sub, Marlon's going to give you a goal, mate.
Ridiculous. Ashley Young.
Not the current day.
Not the current. No, yeah.
Playing centre back
Not
on Sunday.
back.
He's played centre back on Sunday. Can you believe that?
But even his post-match interview was just bland and just.
He also fell over a training cone in the warm-up. I don't know whether you saw that. Having a comical end to his career.
Oh dear.
Ashley Young. People asking when the podcast will be out. Well, if as it's 5:05, Rolinson might get it out today, but it depends whether he wants to work hard or not, doesn't he? Bill Azer saying, do you think West Brom will persist with their three at the back formation throughout our matches? Because if they do, I personally see us passing them with ease. Three at the back, I think, is difficult to play against, especially when you've got one up front.
Anything about West Brom. Didn't even know they were down three at the back. Don't even know anything about their new caretaker coach. What's his name?
Jimmy Shan.
Don't know anything about him.
They brought Appleton back, haven't they? I've always rated as a coach. He's come back to help out and be an assistant, former player. Then that's a savvy move from
Where's
West
he come
Brom.
from? He was at Oxford, wasn't he?
He had been at Oxford. He was also at Leicester as assistant under Puel.
Puel, yeah.
Yeah.
Big lad.
Good player. I mean, good coach, Appleton, to be fair. Bit of a fun question. I think we'll finish with this one from David Hunt. He says, if we are lucky enough to get to the final, what gear do the Villa View members wear to Wembley? Include Tom J. Sayers and Dan Rolinson as well. Bardell, I presume, a retro shirt of choice for the big day. That's what I did last year. There's no way if we get there I'll be wearing the same one.
Not the same one. You wore the Muller light one.
Nah,
the
AST, 95, 96 Milosevic.
Was it?
Yeah. Dolan, I presume, close to your wedding suit. No, not a Wembley, not a Wembley suit. I mean, that would be something I would associate with you.
What did we wear last year? A pair of Clarks, jeans, and a bomber jacket.
Yeah, it's a poor look, wasn't it?
Great
You got to wear. If you dress better this year, we might do better if we get there.
Me?
Yeah, I looked good, mate, in my Savo Milosevic shirt.
Right, man. Dead on.
Tom J says, I imagine whatever Giacomo have released at the time, he'll wear. Rollo will be in the retro shirt as well.
He'll be in his trackie.
He's gone big on the retro as well, though.
He loves that trackie, doesn't he?
He's gone big on retro. He's got his Luke. He does like his Luke tracksuit.
Jimmy Rustin in another horrific band T-shirt.
Yeah, something
Macedon
something completely irrelevant to football. James Rushton will be wearing. I do believe that him and Rollo are actually doing a preview at some point over the last few days as well. So we'll watch with interest
what
with what
T-shirt he's got on.
Rushton's wearing. George Fowler's asked, "Are we underestimating West Brom?" I don't think.
No.
I don't think we are. I think there's nothing wrong with a bit of confidence there. I just think we're the better side.
On paper, mate.
Maybe there's some people underestimating West Brom somewhere for him to say that, but
No, not for me, mate. It'll be tough. It'll be really tough. It's a lottery, playoffs, complete lottery.
Yeah. Matty Murrell asked about the youngsters that we've let go. We've kind of briefly covered that as best we can. Jason G, AVFC, we still have Balassi. Would he get into our first team right now? I've got to say, that game at West Brom, he was pretty good away from home, but I'd much rather just see us play Green and Adoma over him, to be honest. Adam Waters, big question here. Playoff semi or even final goes to penalties. Which seven? I'll say five. Which five players do you want to trust to take one? He said pick seven due to possible injury, suspension.
We'll do this quickly now then, will we?
Let's realistically.
5 or 7?
Let's realistically pick 5 of who we think would be on the pitch at the end of the game.
To take the
At
penalties?
the end of extra time, obviously Tammy.
Will you do your 5 and I'll do my 5?
Tammy, Connor, Jack, Mings, and just hope he's got a power blaster in him. I was going to say Whelan, but he probably wouldn't be on the pitch, would he? And he also had a penalty disaster
Against Preston.
earlier on in the season. Adoma, I guess. Adoma. Because I presume he'd be coming on as a sub. That'd be my 5. I'm McGinn.
Kodja, Jack,
Kodja.
Connor, McGinn, and Adoma.
You've not picked Villa's top scorer, Tammy Abraham, who's took most of our penalties.
Probably
there.
won't play in the full 90 minutes.
Interesting. Hopefully we don't have to find out about penalties, to be honest, because I really don't think my heart can take that. No. But next podcast, I'm not sure who's doing it at the current time, but we'll probably...
It's going to be it'll have to be Monday, or will it be Wednesday?
It'll be after. So we'll know where we lie, which is frightening to say out loud. I'm not that nervous at the moment, at all, in fact. Probably should be way more nervous. But he's thinking about doing a podcast next week, knowing whether we're at Wembley again.
I've got the week off.
Next week?
No, the week off of the playoff.
Have you? Well, you're going to have a real nervy build-up then, because you've got nothing to distract you. That's going to be big. You have to be on constant watch about your well-being over that week.
The week off, it'll be the Monday.
Oh, no, you're fine then.
I'm fine.
So you will even have a week to be celebrating or a week to be commiserating, or it won't even be relevant because we've not got there. Yeah, so many permutations. I think we'll end the podcast there. Thanks ever so much for Chris for coming in. It's nice to do it with you. Tom's a bit of a clown, to be honest, so it's nice to do it with a professional. If you have enjoyed this podcast and you've watched via YouTube, then make sure you're giving it a like and leave your comments. below where you usually do. Spotify as well we're on now, so I don't even know if you can do a Spotify review.
Push.
Can you do a review on Spotify?
You can.
Yeah, iTunes, then please leave us a review. I've seen a couple of decent ones come in. I'm pretty sure one came in from someone who gave us a bad review previously, so we've obviously grown on that person over the last year or so. As I mentioned earlier, Rollo and Rushton will be doing a preview, so that'll be out in the next few days. I would think sometime after the podcast. That should be with you by Wednesday. The podcast, I think I nearly forgot what day it was.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, another rambly outro coming here. There'll obviously be fan cams afterwards on Saturday as well. Please, God, let it be a positive one. Thanks ever so much for listening and watching. Actually, I did have a shout out to give out. Someone came and had a chat with me on
Who was that?
on Sunday. His brother listens in Canada, so now I've got to trawl through what I said to Rollo, because I sent it to Rollo, and now the text has come too far. Please bear with me, because apparently this is going to make this guy's day. Yes, got it.
There we go.
I've spelled his name wrong, so it was Simon, I think, that we were speaking to on Sunday. I probably got this the wrong way around, but so Simon and Andrew Watts, thanks very much for listening for the podcast. Just giving you a little shout out here. Hopefully that has made your day, because I've got to say, it was buzzing to speak to me and Rollo on Sunday. That's it. Thanks ever so much to Dolan again. He's a good lad, isn't he? Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
What was that ending? What was it? Press take record off immediately.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.